You are now tuned into the Married and Shit Podcast. Married and Shit with Jrumz and Netta.
And we back.
We're back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome.
It's the Married and Shit Podcast. It's your host still here, Jrumz, and I'm still here with chocolate dropping, melanin popping.
That's me, Miss Netta.
The beautiful Netta, my wife. So we still in this thing, still going.
Yes, we're here.
Episode 5.
Yes, we are.
Technically.
Yeah.
It's really
It's 4.
But it's the 5th actual podcast, but it's the 4th official episode. So I take that back. Episode 4.
Want to take a brief moment to thank you all for being on this journey with us. Like we said, you know, we just to recap that we appreciate those who've been listening. Like I said, we've been doing this. We're doing this for us, but we're doing it for the culture. So we definitely appreciate those who have been following with us. You know, we encourage you all to interact with us, like literally. You know, we really want you guys' feedback. So yeah, and sometimes we need you guys' advice. It's not about us just teaching and schooling people. We are looking for advice. You know, we don't know it all. You know, we say this was therapeutic, so we do encourage you all to share your opinions, you know, or answer questions that you guys have about anything. So just want to put that out there for those who have been following along with us or who are new, maybe listen to this episode for the first time. So
No doubt. Before we move further, I want to shout out the sponsor. We do officially have a sponsor, Precision Nail Studio. So shout out to her and our sponsors. Precision Nails out here in Nashville, located in the Hickory Hollow area. So if you need your nails done, ladies, check out Precision Nails.
check out Precision,
especially if you're in the Nashville area.
Yes, because it is the season for it's the love is in the air, so people are getting married. It's prom season. What else going on right now, baby? What's the energy around this time?
Thirst trap.
Okay.
They thirst trapping out here, so you can't thirst trap with no raggedy nails and toes. So you need to hit Precision Nails
Go to
so you can get your thirst trap on, ladies. You know what it is. It's hot outside. Sundresses finna pop
Them
out.
feet coming out.
Shorts finna pop out. Sandals and flip flops finna pop out.
So get them nails and
get
them
them
feet
nails
right.
done. Yeah, keep them feet ready. keep
Precision
them
Nails
nails right.
Studio. They're located in the Salon Suites, 5333 Hickory Hollow, Suite 129 in Antioch, Tennessee. So go check them out.
So, what you want to get into? What's the first thing on the agenda today? What should we talk about today?
I mean, you know, let's see. I like to start about the week, like what's been going on for the week. And of course, it's, you know, you get on social media, and I have to put that out there because I think everybody nowadays are starting there. You know, like back in the day, people wake up, they got their newspaper and whatnot. Now people wake up, they get on social media. You know what I'm saying? So that's our news. And
Yeah.
so when I get on social media, what I've been seeing is, you know, it's Easter weekend, and I honestly kind of forgot about it because when you're young, you realize a lot of like certain holidays come up, but when you get older, you kind of like, it's just not as crucial or it's not as enticing. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't be sitting here waiting like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to Easter egg hunts or it's Christmas or whatever. So it kind of creeps up on you, but social media kind of reminds you of certain things.
Right.
And I was kind of reminded that it's Easter weekend.
Between social media and you know the school system, you gonna definitely
they keep you on track.
get reminded. You don't have to go to church to keep up with these holidays.
Oh no.
You know, these holidays are government sanctioned. These necessarily ain't really no, you know, the church does celebrate them, but let's be clear: the reason you get off is because the government made it a federal holiday. Otherwise, you be at work. So the church ain't get you off.
Just so you know, it's important to celebrate and give you some time
so
off.
the government is allowing this. So why? Why a holiday so important to the government? It's a good question.
But Easter is part of religion though, right?
It is. Most of them are connected to some religion or some tradition. Even if it ain't a religion, if you might not consider it religious to you, but it may be religious to somebody or traditional to somebody, somebody's culture. So all of these come from something, even if they pile some other holiday on top of it or some other figure or some other deity on top of the day. It's usually something that's always kind of been celebrated. But when it comes to it being federal holidays and this whole officially we get off and we celebrate, that is something that's definitely orchestrated a little bit by the government. The banks is closed and schools is out, different jobs is the government is closed. So they do, I guess, say it's because of out of respect of people's, I guess, religious observances, that people observe different holidays and things. So I guess, that's why it came to be. But, a lot of these holidays, you didn't necessarily have them, let's say, hundreds of years ago. So it's like where they come from, why did the government see fit to now recognize certain days?
And I was gonna say every religion doesn't celebrate the same holidays, so it's like, and this is something I've been thinking about for the past few weeks. Not that it's new, but it's just been because of the energy surfacing. I've been thinking about it, about how when this government stuff started, or however it was birthed, that there was supposed to be a separation between church and state.
Right.
But you got the state honoring certain religious type of practices, but everybody doesn't practice that.
Yeah, they even pray at certain state functions and all of that. The president, gets his Bible or book or Quran or whatever. They get their religious book of choice to swear on. So it's even though they try to say it's separation of church and state, it's clearly, some intermingling
quite
going on. Yeah, quite clearly.
I'm just.
It's almost, they use it as a convenience thing. When they want to separate it, then they like, we don't separate it. But then at the end of the day, the government steps its foot in all types of religious stuff, from the way these nonprofits are organized, these 501c3s, which most of these churches are. They get these tax credits and and the government has a pretty tight lock on, what the church can and can't do. And for the most part, there's certain things they can and can't do because, you kind of under the government thumb, as a nonprofit. Now, I don't think you have to be a nonprofit to be a church, but most of them are because you want the tax credits.
What's important about the tax credits?
You don't have to pay taxes. Church money is tax-free money, really. You don't have to pay taxes.
I knew that. I'm just kind of thinking like
all that tithes and offerings and stuff. If you're a nonprofit and all that, you don't have to pay taxes on that. Now, if you don't do the nonprofit, if your church is corporatized or anything like that, you don't have to pay taxes. It's just different, different rules to different levels of business, but church is a business. Let's not get it misconstrued.
It is.
It's not just spiritualism. It's mixed with capitalism, along with the spiritualism. Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, folks have to realize what it is, to a certain extent.
One thing, just to kind of wrap up with the Easter topic is, you know, in our community, you got those people talk about what they be saying, baby, the ones that come to church like on the Easter, the Mother's Day, and
I don't know what they call them.
What is it called? I forgot. But I specifically be thinking about what Easter is. How come Easter is you gotta get fly, like you gotta make sure your fit is, you know what I'm saying? Like, where does that come from?
I don't know.
I started thinking, out of all the holidays, Easter is like you gotta get right. Like your fit, your church fit and your after church fit gotta be on point.
You know, it's. I'm sure there's some deeper meanings behind why we do it now, and we just don't know where it comes from. We just follow traditions because that's what people doing, and somebody else is following somebody else, and you know, it's all a big follow the leader trail. You know, we just don't know what the original source of a lot of these traditions really come from. And we think they come straight out of, you know, your religion, you know, or you know, the Bible, but I mean, you can trace them back farther than that. A lot of these traditions, they just kind of been overlapped with new stuff.
That, you know, what I think about when you say that, you know, the game you play when, and it normally happens when you're a child, the telephone game. Like, you start out with a message and you pass that down the road, and by the time it gets to like the fifth or whatever, it has changed so much, and people put their own twist on it, their own spin, and it becomes something totally different from the original source. But because so many people have spread this message, it kind of changes. But I don't know, that just kind of popped up.
Yeah, similar. I think this is more of a deliberate covering up of older holidays and replacing them with new stuff. You know, I don't think this is just no coincidence and stuff. Kind of, you know, you got people that are, you know, that are basically replacing older traditions with newer traditions, you know, and that's kind of what's happening.
Well,
so enough of that.
Yeah, just the
don't know how we always get on religion or something like that every time.
Yeah, that's true. We do seem to eventually circle around back to religion. I think, for one, we know it's Easter weekend, and it's just, I think about life. Sometimes everything is just connected to tradition,
true,
which can be lumped into religion, all that stuff. So, but
true that.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break.
Yeah, we're
take a
quick break. Quick break, real quick. Something we about to start doing on these episodes of Married and Shit. We're gonna take these breaks, opportunity for us to let our sponsor get a message in, any sponsors that we have, and I want to start playing music because I love music. We both music lovers.
Oh yeah.
And
music
and I
therapy.
do music. I make music. I'm a producer, and I like the local scene in Nashville is pretty nice. So I want to just start kind of playing some music, some underground music that maybe I've had a hand in, or I maybe not have had a hand in, or just even some music that y'all maybe never heard of, you know, whether it's something that's local from Tennessee or Nashville, or just something that's just somewhere else in the country, you know, that maybe is not getting the shine.
Attention. Right.
Yeah, it's not getting played on the radio.
Right.
And I just maybe want to shout it out and just give it a spin, since I have a platform.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to take advantage.
I want to support the people that I think are dope. You know, so if you are an artist, send it in. You know what I'm saying? If you do poetry, you a musician, you a rapper, singer, any of that, send it in, man. We will play you on our podcast because we want to support local talent. I mean, that's just another part of creating this black economy and black excellence, is giving ourselves the platforms to promote the music that we like.
Definitely.
Not the ratchetness or the trap rap or the mumble rap that we all may like in certain, you know what I'm saying, in certain environments. Yeah. But, you know, we need balance.
Right.
Again, it's about balance, you know, as usual. So we want to play music that's not just necessarily considered the popular music, or just something that has sound. It might have a message that you might not hear on popular radio, something that's positive or just something that's just dope. It might not always be positive, but it's just something that's dope. And I think I might want to expose it,
Nice
give it some more
music.
attention. So
Okay, so we gonna bring a message from our sponsor, but won't you go ahead, baby, and introduce us to the new music you want to bring to us today?
So the song I'm gonna be bringing to you today is by True Esco, part of the Grammy family. This song is actually a song I produced for the Grammy family management, and True Esco and I are both an affiliate of that. But I'm just gonna play this song called Testimony, and I just think it's a real positive, uplifting, motivating type of track, and it's just a feel good track, I think, and it was real relatable. You know what I'm saying? Real lyrics. This is what I like. I like true music, and that's why his name is True, because pretty much everything he say is true.
Shout out
you
to
know what I
True.
mean? He don't be lying in his rhymes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these people.
It's relatable.
It's real relatable, and that's what I love about it. I like music that come, from the heart, and you can tell when this guy raps. He raps from the heart.
Yeah.
So this is True. A song called Testimony from the Grammy family. You can find this on Apple Music and iTunes. So go check it out, purchase it, download it, and let us know how you like it. So we're going to shoot to this break real quick.
Let's get to it.
And we'll be back.
You're listening to the Married and Shit podcast with Jrumz and Netta.
Looking back, I done overcame so much. All the rejections from what I thought was just sent from above. I made mistakes and I hurt people who would mean so much, but that's a part of growth. I had to learn the value of love. I make my bed and gotta lay in it. I deal with the repercussions. Was taught as a man to be upfront while I had discussions. Known as an introvert, my silence is always questioned. But give me some beats, and it's a poet who got a message. My life's been a testimony, from struggles to breakthroughs, from people supporting me to people who hate True. I don't change up though, I stay who I am, bro. That fire and brimstone, I walk through like I'm cold. That's how I treat situations that seem to be against me. If my blessings bother you, I assume you against me. I live life with no regrets, my troubles what made me. If you got you a testimony, then you feel the same way. I got ambitious intentions for my success. Been through some hell and fire, a testimony in flesh. I always would desire to see myself at my best. That's why my future's brighter by overcoming my past. I got ambitious intentions for my success. Been through some hell and fire, a testimony in flesh. I always would desire to see myself at my best. That's why my future's brighter by overcoming my past. Looking back, I done gave this life so much. To showing love to those who use me, thought they get away, I drop off people in a heartbeat if they vibe don't match up. Could be a day, could be a year, could be a decade for them. I'm always low-key like the brim on the front of my hats. But when they try to attack, just know this crap will react. I love to motivate people when they don't think there's a chance. But probability tells us that we got 1 in a million. That's enough to move mountains or reconstruct you a building. In other words, there's always favor in your comeback ability. Had days when I didn't know how I pay bills or even eat. I sit in the dark and would just dream about finer things. My life isn't what it seemed. Then grow up with picket fences. Was raised by a single mother who made it despite her limits. I wasn't lame in school, but I just knew that I was different. I seen life in different ways that alter my out appearance. Knew I could be somebody despite who would tell me different. Went through trials and tribulations all my adolescence, but now I'm using the gift that God gave me. If you got you a testimony, then you feel the same way. I got ambitious intentions for my success. Been through some hell and fire, a testimony in flesh. I always would desire to see myself at my best. That's why my future's brighter by overcoming my past. I got ambitious intentions for my success. Been through some hell and fire, a testimony in flesh. I always would desire to see myself at my best. That's why my future's brighter by overcoming my past.
Okay, ladies, now you know we can be picky when it comes to our beauty, whether we're looking for a beautician, makeup artist, or nail stylist. So I am here to solve the struggle in your search for a great natural nail stylist. Precision Nail Studio is located inside the Salon Suites in the Nashville area, 5333 Hickory Hollow Lane, Suite 129 in Antioch, Tennessee. They specialize in growing and maintaining healthy natural nails. Whether you're looking for a trendy, exotic, or a simple and stylish look for your nails, Precision Nail Studio does it all. Like them on Facebook and check out samples of their exclusive and custom nail designs. Book your appointment or text for availability at 615-668-1880. That's 615-668-1880.
You are now tuned into the Married and Shit Podcast. Married and Shit with Jrumz and Netta.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, y'all.
We are back from the break, and this is the second half of the show.
Thanks for continuing to stay tuned with us. Hope you enjoyed that music we brought to you. True.
Yeah. This, like I said, it's something we're going to try to keep doing. So please send us, email us, marriedandshit615@gmail.com. Send us your music or any kind of art that you're doing that we can play on the show. We love to have it. We love to promote it. And especially if it's dope, man, we gonna put it on.
We're gonna utilize this platform. So, but yeah, I like that, babe.
Well, if you like it, I love it. So, what's the next topic today?
I just want to go into something that is very recent with my experience in life. I've been reading a book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome.
Yeah, by Dr. Joy DeGruy.
Yes, Be the Healing. And I kind of, like I said, we've been building our library. I've always, even my dad, before we lost our house in a fire when I was a young girl, my dad always had like a bookshelf, whether it was with different books, encyclopedias, dictionaries, things like that, like print content. And so, we've been building our thing here at home. Even with children's books and stuff like that.
You gotta have a library. If you don't have a black library, people, especially black folks, if you don't have a library in your house, you're doing yourself and your family a disservice. Like we gotta read. We gotta read more. So
yeah, that's
something we just have to do. I think everybody should have a bookshelf. If you don't have a bookshelf, you need to. There's a problem. There's a slight problem right there. We got everything else in the house, but you don't have not one book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No bookshelves. So I think 2018. If you ain't got no bookshelf, get your bookshelf. Start getting books. Hit Amazon, Books A Million.
For the Lowski. They even got different. I don't know what you call it, but when we first had DJ, I don't know if Mama put us on it, your mama, but there was like book clubs, like even like the Dollywood, free books that you just get.
There's tons of little book clubs for the kids.
So for kids, it's easy to get free books to kind of build up your inventory of books.
And of course, kids, and we pump up kids should read, but adults need to read.
No, definitely.
I think adults don't read, and I think that's why kids don't read.
I hated reading, baby. I don't know why.
If the adults don't read, what makes you think the kids gonna read? So adults, you don't have a bookshelf. Why you think your kid gonna want to read a book?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So get you a bookshelf, adults. Get you some books. Let your child see you like books or that you read, and your child will do it. So, we need to fix the adults. You know what I'm saying? We focus on the kids, but if you can't fix the adults, then the kids are lost too. Like it go hand in hand. It ain't just save the children. Everybody needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
It ain't just save the adults. Everybody needs to be worked on. So it go hand in hand. Go hand in hand. Like one don't work without the other, So toast to
knowledge,
to books.
To books. To understanding.
Bookshelves.
To bookshelves.
To bookshelves.
Clink clink. Okay, so
We'll get through this and take a break.
okay. So yeah, I picked up that book off the shelf, and I think prior to that, what I was dealing with for that week or whatnot was, you know, we try to understand a lot of things about melanated people, not excluding non-melanated people, but we got a lot of work to do. So
not excluding what?
Melanated people. Like, what I'm saying is, I want to understand a lot of things when it comes to black people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, we have a lot of work to do because the non-melanated people already kind of understand stuff that we necessarily don't even understand. Or when it comes to our culture, they might not really understand when it comes to it in depth, but we have a lot of catching up to do because, and I'll get to that. But basically, when I picked up this book, I was already trying to figure out some stuff of really just the why to stuff. And I think, you know, when we started doing this podcast, like we said, it was therapeutic, but we really wanted to kind of start digging into the why of stuff. And I love that because I feel like I said, with traditional stuff, we just follow along. We just kind of go along. We go with the flow type of stuff. But we don't sometimes understand the why to things. We just do it.
Right. Meaning we might pass down traditions that we should let go.
We should let go. Exactly. And we say traditions like, oh, no, we got to keep that because it's tradition. Well, you know, everything else changed in life. Technology, we didn't have, you know what I'm saying, cell phones back in the day. You know what I'm saying, when great grandmama was alive, they didn't have cell phones and stuff like that. So things change to adapt to the society, right, you know, in a different form. It ain't like we do away with it. We may just have to change the form of it or right, whatever. Sometimes we may gotta do away with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of the things that we're learning or whatnot. But when I started reading this book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, the first few pages was like so enlightening. And I mean, I say that very, like it really was so enlightening because I immediately started to feel like, God damn, this motherfucker brought the why real quick. And I just opened the book, you know what I'm saying? So specifically, the author, and I have the book right here, Joy DeGruy, very beautiful lady, black lady. She kind of started to talk about how she went to South Africa and just basically how the culture, the lifestyle was just totally different from here in the States. You know what I'm saying? And so she goes into like basically saying how us dealing with slavery, this traumatic, you know, the trauma we deal with can have a huge effect on our lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Our being, us just living. So
yeah, she's a psychologist.
Is she a psychologist?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she understands psychology and how trauma affects people and,
yes,
and development and human behavior.
Yes.
And so, you know, so
yes,
yeah, that's a big thing to focus on.
Yes.
Like trauma. I don't think people think about how trauma affects you and
yeah,
what is trauma.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that's a big thing to really discuss, and how that even affects your DNA and how that affects
right,
the way you develop and generations down the line.
Exactly. You know how folks say, you get these certain diseases or whatever health issue because it's in your DNA,
yeah,
it's in your genes. So trauma has been built, has been in our DNA as black people. And so when you speak
talking
on
about generations
and hundreds and centuries,
years,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, of trauma, consistent trauma to a group of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even on page, and I have the book here, like I said, on page 13, this is just the introduction. So she sets you up to at least understand the basics. Like I said, I was trying to get into the why of things, but she started, I mean,
What'd she say?
She talked, one of the paragraphs I have, it says, so what is trauma? And this is what she says. So what is trauma? Trauma is an injury caused by an outside, usually violent force, event, or experience. We can experience this injury physically, emotionally, psychologically, and or spiritually. Traumas can upset or traumas can upset our equilibrium and sense of well-being. If a trauma is severe enough, it can distort our attitudes and beliefs. Such distortions often result in dysfunctional behaviors, which can in turn produce unwanted consequences. And it can go on and on and on for that. Yeah. But just that, it tells you that trauma, depending on the severity of it, it can just distort your whole being. Mm-hmm. So like you say, consistent decades of this trauma of slavery has a post effect on us, like me, our parents, our grandparents. Like, even though slavery ended, it still has an effect on us as humans today, on our behaviors and our attitudes. And I was trying to figure out, like, why we do certain things. And I realized a lot of stuff was because of slavery. Right. And, people say, well, slavery was 500 years ago. We should do without it. Okay, yeah, we can get over it, but we can't ignore that it has had an effect. Like, we cannot think about, okay, let's stop fighting, but let's think about the effect it has as we trying to get over it. This shit still exists. So, I started reading about it, and things started kind of the puzzle pieces started to kind of connect. Like, for example, really quickly, being a black parent. I was reading some examples in here, and I was like, bro, we think something so simple.
So what? So give me some examples.
Okay, so
give me some.
She talked about, for instance, so during slavery, the masters, we have always looked as inferior. Like, we're dumb, we're stupid. Because if we showed any kind of strength, any kind of power,
any kind of smartness, anything, they pretty much beat it out you.
Yes, they're gonna take advantage. Your family may be separated or anything like that. So she talked about that as a slave, to help the survival of the family, parents would degrade their children's because they didn't want their masters to use them for, to either sell them or use, they may do away.
What you're saying is the slaves, the parents that were slaves would have to not show affection, would have to go out their way to not show affection to their children. Because if they knew if the slave master seen that, then that would potentially get them sold, or they would just go out of their way to just break that up,
or highlight any strengths about their child. They didn't want to. So there was a point.
If he was a good strong child, then he would probably get put to work.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying, or he would get sold quicker. So it makes sense. So you had to almost really try to stunt the progress.
So basically what it said, I was trying to go to the point, exact text and the content here, but basically what she said, there was an example where the white master came up to this black woman, the black slave, and was like, oh, for example, not direct text quote from the book, but it was like, oh, your daughter Mary is coming along. I see her, coming along. She's doing this. And the mama was like, oh, nah, she ain't got it. She ain't this and that, to protect her child. Because if they felt like they were progressing, they were going to use that to you know what I'm saying, her child may be sold or whatever.
Or she might get raped.
And they said that. They said she may get raped, molested, or get sold. Right. That's what they said. So she degraded her child so they wouldn't strip her from her. Right. You know what I'm saying? So and I looked at that, and it was an example how she related that to today's time.
Okay, so connect that for me.
So here's a passage in the book. It talked about, this black mother and this white mother. They were their child was playing sports, And I want to get to another one, but this is one example. There was one about the children playing sports, and there was another one about the children being in a public atmosphere. So this one passage talk about one of the mothers was black and the other was white. Their children both were classmates. They played sports together, but the black mother had commented on the achievements of the white mother's child, and she said, you know, your son is really coming along. That's the black mother. And the white mother responded with pride, thank you, he is quite the man. He's in talented and gifted program here at school. As you know, he's playing well in Little League, and he's really excelled this year. He's just like his father. And then the white mother went on praising her child. And then when she finished, she turned her attention to the black mother like, okay, here you go into the conversation. And the black mother was like, no, the white mother said, your son is also doing quite well out here. Here go the black mother. Before she finished her statement, the black mother was like, what she said? Oh, girl, he's such a mess at home. Sometimes I can just strangle him. So the white mother gave a positive remark about the black mother's son, but the black mother immediately was like, she downplayed, she degraded his, you know what I'm saying, and was like, oh girl, yeah, he may be good at that, but girl, he's just pitiful at home. He don't lit, you know. Yeah. And yeah. It's like, and I understood that example because that relates in slavery. We don't want to highlight these strengths because back then they would have stripped our children from us. It's like, but we still carrying that along that we don't want to give positive remarks to our child. Yep, it's the subconscious thing that's still built in our DNA. Mm-hmm. You know, that's changed us because of the trauma. Mm-hmm. And now today we still feel like we shouldn't big up our kids over, you know, white kids or kids of any other, you know, race, you know, and that's something that's just kind of built, you know, unfortunately we've gotten used to it. I mean, that's really what it is. You just been conditioned. And you've just gotten used to doing that, you know what I mean? And not knowing where that comes from. Right. And that's why I said when I immediately read this, and it's just the introduction. Right. We call our kids bad. We call I try to do without you don't that. You don't really hear that from white parents. Like, oh, girl, you don't really hear white parents say, my son's bad. You don't really hear it. But black kids, you hear that off the rip, bad. We start saying that shit at like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, the child can't even talk yet and he bad. I continue to get white folks talking about how advanced or how great my kids is. You know, our kids is girl, you know, Adrian and Dedrian. But I've caught myself, and I'm a be honest to it, you know, I caught myself sometimes like, girl, yeah, I know they like this, but they be at home and they just downplaying it. And it's like I just naturally, unintentionally did that. Yeah, that's something. Yeah. So when I read this book, that's a trigger. I was like, damn, that's where that shit come from. Yeah. I had no idea. Right. But then she go into like they was at a bank. The white mother had their kids run all around, but the black mother made sure her child was right there by her side, and you know, stuff like that. They don't afford them the same freedom that the white kids. Freedom. The white parent was like they let them run around, but then the black kids is like, no, you better sit your, you know. They don't grow up with the same type of strict freedom and you know, strict upbringing, and you know so white kids feel a little more privileged. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they deserve more. Because black kids are more constrained. Right. They have more limitations versus the white kids. We're always limiting our kids for always some reason. Limiting. Whether we pray, you know, we want to give them praise, but we limited the praise that we give them. You know, so all that stuff stems from post-slavery, that when people say slavery don't exist, there's a different form of it. You know what I'm saying? But because that has ended, there has been an effect to that carries on to today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just it opened up a lot for me, and it helped me understand the why, because we do things and we don't really understand where this derived from, where was this birth from. We do it. Right. And we ain't got no explanation. Right. You know, our kids are our future. And if we don't correct these behaviors, we can't change stuff that has hindered us, and we have no idea why.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff we got to change. And in order to change them, we have to understand where they come from.
Where they come from.
What's the root?
Yeah.
Why all behaviors have a root.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You don't do something for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't blink just because you blink.
Yeah.
Like, your eyes dry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason for everything. Like,
things.
you know what I mean? You don't breathe just because you breathe. You need the oxygen. You know what I'm saying? There's always a reason. So, you know, if we always doing some cooning, you see black people doing a lot of dumb shit, you see them acting ignorant, or the parenting ain't right. Why? You know what I'm saying? And you can say what you want to say. It's the upbringing, or, you know, they just ain't got no home training, or whatever the case may be. But why?
But just try to continue to dissect it.
Yeah.
You know,
what causes these situations?
Yeah. There's always a cause and effect. You know, you can't get to the ultimate, but you can definitely keep dissecting, like division. Bring it down to the lowest terms. Keep dividing and dividing and dividing.
So at the end of the day, big up your kids.
Man, praise them.
Always big them up. Always give them all the support. Always tell them they great. They the greatest. They wonderful. You know, you can do anything. You're smart. You know, I mean, tell them everything. Let them know that they can do it all. You know, don't ever play them down. Try to play them dumb. Try not to call them bad, even if they is bad as hell.
Man,
I already know some of these kids
but
bad as hell.
Words are powerful though.
But yeah,
words are
you
very
will
powerful.
right. You will project that onto the child.
Exactly.
And the child will be bad.
And I made sure our son this week for sure. I told DJ to say that he's awesome. You know, I take DJ to, you know, mama house to, you know, go to school. And I said, I want you to say I'm awesome. And he was like, I'm awesome. I said, nah, you don't mean it. I said, say it like you awesome. He was like, I'm awesome. And when he said it, he was like excited. He started asking me questions, and he was yes ma'am and no ma'am and stuff. And when he came home, he came home with a green, the second best color. He got 3 greens out the week.
Yep. There's power in that, man. And you know, and that's a big achievement for us, for him to get 3 greens out the week. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's a big achievement, because it's hard. It's hard for us to deal for our kids as black boys, to, you know, to be in the school system. So you have to really encourage your child, man. You really have to encourage them, especially out here in this world and in the school system, and let them know, man. They, you know, because the school system are making sure they know that they're not the best. Yes. You know, the school system is doing everything to make sure your child, especially if he's a black boy, if he's a black boy, they're making sure, you know, that he knows he's not the best, because he's not going to be the one that's going to be the most acceptable to the program. He's not going to just behave off the rip.
In the world, and make sure the world already are targeting the black boys, so they already got that aspect of downgrading them. Yeah, so we need to balance it out.
The school to prison pipeline. You can look that up. You know, they've been looking at that for a long time, on how, you know, black males are being funneled through the school system into these resource programs and these special ed programs, right into the jails. So you can, you know, that stuff we can look at. You know, so you got to really encourage your kids, let them know, no, you ain't slow, you're not stupid. You know, you may learn different, you may need some different type of help, or you know, you know, all these children are different. So you have to make sure you focus on your child and understand what your child needs, and give them that. You know what I'm saying? Just give them what they need, and what they need more than anything is just your support and your guidance, and that's what they need more than anything else. So,
and I just want to quickly give a shout out to one of my Facebook friends. You know, I know her from, you know what I'm saying, from the hometown, Chat Town, but Janika Everhart. I'm gonna go ahead. I really got to give a shout out to you. Your son, little Tony. You know, I don't know y'all personally. But you posted, and I've seen on my timeline that your son has gotten all A's. Babe, look at his report card. This dude has gotten all A's. He's been nervous with taking tests, and I'm a nervous test taker. Like, I can ace all kind of assignments, projects, and whatnot. But when it comes to the test, and we can get in there, that's another discussion too. But when it comes to the test, you kind of freeze up. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to really quickly give a shout out to her because, you know, she definitely encouraged him, gave him some, you know, some motivation and things of that nature. And he came out with still all A's. So a black male, you know, young black boy. So I just want to give a shout out because, you know, we need more of that encouragement, more of those posts, you know, just more of that, you know, that uplifting our black males, because we can't, you know, depend on other people to encourage our children, especially the young black males.
Right.
You know, we have to, like you said, we're going to change things. We got to change. The adults have to change and the children have to change, but we have to do small things like that, you know, uplift their spirit by doing simple things like that. So it's the small things that make a really, really big difference. And we have to be conscious of those things like that. Because like I said, that book brings up a lot of things that we incorporate in our attitudes and, you know, our beliefs and just everything, especially our attitudes and our teachings, that we just may have to tweak a little bit because we don't realize how much it is very impactful as adults and as children. So it's a lot of deep messages in that book, and I look forward to just reading and learning and sharing, you know, what I pick up from it.
Yeah, we'll probably be fleshing out a lot of that book, and other books as we go forward, and just taking pieces and bringing it to the forefront, bringing it to the masses, because I'm pretty sure some of these books a lot of people may not ever heard of, and the information that's in the books is, I think, very important, you know, to our culture. So we're gonna definitely do a lot more of that, a lot more just information digging. Like, you know, like the stuff you brought up today, you know, which, like I said, it's very important to encourage our kids and understand, like, you know, why we don't encourage our kids or allow our kids to do as much as other kids. And, you know, we beat them and say they bad and all these things. You know, there's kind of, there's some hidden reasons for a lot of that stuff. So I think that was worth bringing up. So appreciate that, babe.
Well, you know, do what I do and I can do it.
So I think we're going to bring this episode to a close today.
Yeah, I think we talked about some great things.
Yeah,
you know, short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah, kind of a brief episode today, but it's all good. We're gonna keep them coming.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up and give a shout out again to our sponsor, Precision Nail Studio. Precision Nail Studio, they specialize in natural nails. I mean, if you're transitioning from acrylic and, you know, they've been weak and you're looking to just get that healthy maintenance, you know, that's your girl. You know, just visit them, Precision Nail Studio. They're in the Nashville area in the Salon Suites in Hickory Hollow. Their address is 5333 Hickory Hollow Lane, Suite 129. Give your girl Shonda a visit. She'll hook you up, y'all. Visit her Facebook page if you want to just check out some of the examples she got to give y'all. So, yeah, thank you for listening, tuning in as always. And we do it for the culture.
And we out. Peace.
Peace.
This has been the Married and Shit Podcast with Jrumz and Netta.